go on and talk about the first way of putting on love that we look at on the marriage course. And it's making time for each other. Now, many of us, if we think back to when we were going out, we'll recognize that we had a lot of special time together then. It was as if we had this kind of impenetrable world that was all our own. But when we get married, that so easily gets lost. And there are so many pressures that kind of force their way into our private world. You know, the bills need paying. We have to make decisions about our children's schools. It could be the parents, in-laws, our friends, our neighbours. Maybe it's the telephone always going. Perhaps it's the pull of the television. And almost inevitably it is the whole thing of work. And special time together as a couple is so often the thing that gets squeezed out.
Changes. I want to go on to look at the third aspect of putting on love. And that is discovering what makes our husband or wife feel loved. Many of you will know the name Judith Wallerstein, who's a well-known clinical psychologist, wrote a book called The Good Marriage. And that book was based on detailed research she did with 50 married couples who had different lengths of marriages, all of whom considered they had a good, happy marriage. And she was looking at what do all these couples have in common. And one thing she realized was that all of these husbands and wives knew each other's emotional needs. And she wrote this in her book, The Good Marriage. Individuals have their own patterns of what makes them feel better. Some people need to talk. Others prefer to be left alone. Some people need to be listened to right away. Others need to delay until they've begun to sort things out. What would be insulting to one person is exactly what another needs. It is essential that both partners know what strategies will help the other bear the everyday stresses of life.
Very
On the marriage course,
concept.
we look at
Very
five
important. If you
different
leave here with
ways.
only that idea, a love bank, everything you do influences your spouse. If you want to be in love, you've got to associate yourself with your spouse's good feelings. And if you start associating yourself with your spouse's bad feelings, you're going to lose your spouse's love for you. If you understand that, and then your spouse isn't going to want to be with you when you've gotten enough negative love units. If you understand that one concept, all of a sudden, therapy strategies are completely opened up to you. Then you know where to go next. You know what to do next. You have to associate this person with the other person's good feelings. And you got to get rid of the things that other person is doing that creates bad feelings. That's it. That's the answer. Okay, there's another topic here that I want to talk to you about, and that's instincts and habits. As you can tell by now, I'm a behaviorist, okay? And I know hardly anybody here is. I am really an oddball in that respect. But it has absolutely convinced me that some of the most important concepts in behavioral sciences are very, very important in marital therapy.
You're with a loved one and you're having a really
Instincts.
great evening.
Our behavioral
Good
patterns
feelings
are
are
formed.
flowing back and forth. You're having great conversation. Could you think of something that you could say or do that would affect the evening in a negative way? Could you affect that relationship instantly? Now, if you're chuckling, and I'm going to call on you to give an example. We all have that example. You know, I think of when Jim and I are having a really great evening and we're in the car. If I say one thing negative about how he's driving, it's over, just like that. It works every time. I did it last week. It still works. That's because people say, yeah, I know how to push his buttons, or I know how to push her buttons. Well, if you know how to push your partner's buttons, freeze that image in your mind, because we all have triggers. We all also have positive change buttons. You just have to teach people how to find them, how to identify them, and then how to activate them. And that's what we do. The bottom line is that our coaches breathe new life into near-death relationships by teaching marriage-saving skills over the phone. And while we hear sad stories day in and day out, these heart-wrenching stories are far outnumbered by the awe-inspiring tales of people's fierce determination to fight for their marriages in face of little or no encouragement from their loved ones. Our callers are the real heroes in our country, and we are fortunate because we've got them on the phone.
In that lunch with Elizabeth,
But I also
when
feel
I asked that
incredibly
innocent
blessed.
question, how's the wedding planning going? It's something that I don't think I could have learned in any other way. And if it was that, if my own daughter, raised in this culture of marriage education, was not able at that moment to focus on the future given what was right in front of her, then what I realized was that I had not been taking couples where they are. The first principle of adult learning is to take people where they are, not where we think they should be. And where they are is, as they learned from Elizabeth, after the engagement. By the way, these proposals now are getting quite extravagant. Talk about the pressure on the guy to come up with an airplane banner or something like that. As Elizabeth taught me, an hour of bliss. We are engaged. I have found my life partner. An hour of bliss followed by telling people, and then the questions start. So what are the questions? What are the questions? Mom and Dad, we're getting married. So tell me, what are the questions? When? What else? Where? Who's going to do it? Who's going to pay for it? Okay? You're certainly going to have your Uncle Bob, the pastor, do the ceremony, aren't you? So it's an hour of bliss followed by 9 to 12 months of stress.
Number one cause of divorce and separation is we grew apart. That's what people say. We grew apart. Number one cause cited for divorce and separation. Number one cause of growing apart is resentment. Number one cause of resentment is withdrawal of interest, meaning I don't show the interest in you that I used to. I don't see you with my eyes. I don't hear you with my ears. I don't attune to you. I'm not present for you. So if you could see that this withdrawal of interest is the number one cause of disconnection, there's a little saying, and I should memorize it accurately, but it's by Thich Nhat Hanh, and I read it in O Magazine, my Bible. Anyway, no, it's not really my Bible. I'm sorry. No, it's not. It's just one of my encyclopedia resources.
They just did a big interview with us.
Yes,
that's what she really means.
It was in the same issue that our article happened to be in, so that's how I know. But anyway, it said from Thich Nhat Hanh, he said, when you look at me and when you don't see me and you think you already know everything about me, you're killing our relationship. When you look at me and believe you already know everything about me, you kill our relationship. It's a killing of the relationship. And if you've ever looked at passion, that one of the primary ingredients in long-term passion is knowing each other and continuing to learn and grow and discover one another. And that is one of the keys to keeping a relationship alive as well as connected.
And you're not likely to have your partner open up to you if you're criticizing them, if you're telling them how they're failing to connect with you.